Good morning and happy Friday. As a matter of fact, blessed Good Friday to everyone. I hope that you all have had a wonderful and had an opportunity to observe Holy Week if you observe Holy Week. And if not, well, still blessed Friday to you because it is still Good Friday, right? And so happy to see you all. Happy to be here with you all today. I am Iris Owens, your host of the Autopsy of Her Healing, Evolving Resiliency. And on the line with me is my beautiful sister and co-host.
Good morning, honey bunny.
Good morning,
Happy
honey
Good
bunny.
Friday, everyone. How you doing,
Yes,
honey?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm really feel good. We've had summer here these last couple of days.
Yes, we're having, so here we're having summer, winter, like I was sitting here, right? And then all of a sudden you hear this wind going, "Woo." Now it's bright, sunny outside. It's going to be almost, it's like 80 degrees today, but you're still hearing this wind. Then, last week we had crazy rain and the power went out. And so it is what it is,
It is
It,
82
it
degrees
it is
yesterday.
the month of April, and what is it? April showers. Except
That
we
was
having
spring
more
day
than
flowers.
showers. We're having more than showers, but okay.
So I think we could have some beautiful flowers in that, and
And
for
oh
the
yes, I
trees.
have a few out here already, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, we have a few flowers too. I was in the
Yes,
city, and I was right, just almost walking by the shop that Izzy likes to go to with all of the stones and the
and
crystals and stuff
crystals.
like
Yes,
that.
yes.
And so literally they had put all the flowers out and like in the big flower beds, and somebody had ripped literally the lilies out of the flower bed,
Oh,
you know. And I was walking by and I seen it, then I seen the lily, how because they put them in like bunches. And I
yes.
picked it up and I put it back in the pot. And I was like, why would you do that? Because it was so pretty. And they were yellow, just beautiful. Somebody just ripped it
Because
out.
people just don't know what to do with
I know.
themselves.
They really don't. They really don't.
See,
And
that's
I'm
why,
thinking like,
because people don't know what to do with themselves.
but you see a bunch of lilies sit on the curb of the sidewalk. I mean, you think somebody even want to think about, let me pick it up. So I'm like, I saw it. I literally, because it was down a little ways, I walked, saw it, came, walked back and put it back in the pot.
Yeah. Well, since we're talking about why people do the things that they do, right? And sometimes we're not clear
Boggles my mind.
about people's boggles our mind.
Boggles my mind.
And
It has to make
listen,
sense.
it has to make sense. And some of us are we do believe that we will solve some of the world's problems. Whether we do or not, we don't know. But I do think we can be impactful in the worlds in which we live. So today we're going to talk about, are you down with OPP? Now I know what you all are thinking. That's not the OPP we're talking about. The OPP we're talking about is other people's pleasures. What do I mean by that? We are all interactive with so many people in our lives, right? Our families, our children, our co-workers, our clients, our church family, the people we work out with. I mean, no matter what you do in life, right? As long as you're breathing, walking, and talking, you are engaged in relationships with other people. Now, every relationship has a different level, and every relationships have different expectations, but we typically do have expectations. You agree, right? That there are always expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And so I find many times that, in romantic relationships, especially, and I think more so women than men, that women, we want the unconditional love. And people say this a lot, men and women say it, but I tend to think women expect it more, unconditional love. And honestly, when thinking about that, and like today is Good Friday, I really, when you think about it, the only individual who has ever shown and given unconditional love is Jesus.
Absolutely.
The ultimate sacrifice, the ultimate way to say, I love you, is that
Mm-hmm.
someone gives their life for you.
Exactly.
and
And loves you when you don't even love yourself.
loves you when you don't even love yourself. And
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
and continues to care for you and cover you and protect you even when you go against everything they have told you to do.
Which is true too. Yep, absolutely.
Now, and I think the next closest thing to that is the love of a parent. But we all know we're parents, we have parents. There are times that even as a parent, when you're thinking, man, I just, what am I doing with you? I love you. I love you. I love you. But right now, I'm so bothered by what you have done. I don't forget that I love you, but man, I'm questioning, like, why?
Go away for a little while so I can continue to love you. Just go away for a
Right?
while.
That's
so,
it.
so I can
I,
remember
you
that
know
I
what?
love you. Just
I am
go.
certain. That's good stuff because I am certain this is why parents tell their children to go to your room. It's not.
It's true. It's
It
true.
is to save your life. To the
Exactly.
fact of when you have done something so ridiculous, so out of pocket, so crazy to your parents, right? Your parents are like, uh-uh, go away. Don't speak. Don't, I can't even look at you right now, right? We've all
And,
been
and
there.
and I think they know it. I mean, because like even a child, a little child. I
Yes,
know me and Savion, Savion. I don't think Savion was 2 months old yet.
yes,
And I'm saying, and Savannah's two, he's 2 months. And I'm saying, I said, come on, Savannah. I said, lay down with me and Savion, we're gonna take a nap. So me and Savion were already laying down on the couch. And she was like, I know, I don't want to take a nap. And she took her shoe and threw it at us. And like, you're talking about a 2 month old baby. When I tell
God.
you,
Oh my God.
I don't even remember how I secured my 2 month old, but I secured him somehow. And I picked her up like this. You pick him up by the waist, and I just
Yes,
marched,
yes,
put her on my crib, and I said, "Don't you move." And she just looked at me, and she knew not to move.
yes.
Have you lost your mind? Throwing
Right,
a,
right,
a, a, a shoe, your shoe,
right,
your big shoe, the shoe is as big as his head. Are
right.
you
You
still?
could have hit him in the head. You could have hit me in the eye. But the point is, right? You threw something. It wouldn't have mattered what you threw. You threw something at me. So that's a prime example, right, of unconditional love because I love you, but right now in this moment, I'm thinking I could really like tear you up one side down the other, right? Because I have no concept as to what made you just do that, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's the same in other relationships. It is hard to say unconditional love because even in work relationships, you're working a place. You've been working there, you love it there. They say they love you there, they appreciate you, and then one day you come to work and someone says, "You're fired." No reason, no nothing. Or the reason is something that does not line up with
Mm-hmm.
the number of,
Mm-hmm.
and here we go, the number of years you spent there, the number of hours you've put in, the dedication, the loyalty, all these things, right? And this is
Mm-hmm.
any relationship, but we're talking about work right now.
Mm-hmm.
How people can just literally cut you off,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? And you are left with this hole and this confusion about, wait, what just happened?
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
What just happened, right?
Yep. I
It's the
know.
same way in relationships where you're going along with someone, you are feeling, you skip when you hear their voice, your heart skips a beat. We talk about your hands sweating, your stomach gets all la, 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 la. You can't wait to see them, la 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 la. You're spending every moment together. You fall asleep on the phone, and then one day they don't call anymore. Just one day they stop calling. Wait, what?
Mm,
Okay,
yeah.
so then you say something must have happened. something must be
Did they
wrong.
die? Did they
Did
die?
they? Right? Something must have happened. So I
Wait,
like
wait,
people.
wait. Look, before you, because I know you weren't a fan of Sex and the City, but the girl had a date with a guy,
Uh-huh.
and the guy didn't show up. So same thing. After like feeling like I'm not letting another man stand me up. So
Right.
she said, I'm gonna call him and tell him off.
Right.
She calls and somebody answers the phone. I need to speak to him because he broke his date with me. He stood me up, whatever. And they
Right.
said, oh, he
Uh,
died. It was his mom. His mother answered the phone. They said he died. Then she felt really bad.
right. But
But
now,
but then
and
he didn't
that's
die.
that's a once in probably a once in a lifetime type situation, right? Because I would feel awful too. Because my mom likes to say, whenever someone does something really crazy, and I go, I don't understand it, why? And my mother goes, well, maybe they're sick. I'm like, you're always giving people the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, even if you're sick, in today's world, between text,
Well,
email,
they are sick. They are sick. They're sick of
right.
you.
Uh,
They are
oh,
sick.
bam, Steph. Listen, that'll preach. They're sick of you.
They sick of
Amen.
you. They are
And
sick.
they forgot though to give you the diagnosis and a prescription that they were sick of you. They just said, I'm sick of you. I'm through with you and I'm out. Right?
That's right. Well, that's just like I think we're talking about when I was listening to T.D. Jake's sermon, and he was saying that people that used to love you, and for whatever reason, they don't love you anymore, but they still hang around you. So now they become saboteurs, basically, because if you no longer love me and you no longer like me, then why are you still around me? Why are you still part of my circle? To
right.
become that, because to me, you're the he said it like not he didn't say it, but I'm taking it that now you're the saboteur. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And I could be an ex-boyfriend, lover, friend. It could be a sibling that you were friends with. Because just
Yes.
because you're siblings don't mean you're friends. Just because you're
Correct.
family don't mean you're
Your
friends.
friends.
So it could
Right.
be any of those things. Exactly. So definitely people always change the narrative of the relationship. You just don't know the narrative of the relationship has changed.
Exactly. And that is where we're talking about other people's pleasures. Because do we become other people's pleasures? And many times in relationships, I believe that we do, in the sense that I think that you and I are friends because we like each other. At least I believe that. We have common interests, or sometimes we don't, but we feel that we've had a connection with one another, right? And so you call me, I call you. You check on me, I check on you. We hang out, we get together. We go to one another's houses. We do nice things for each other. We spend hours talking. And then again, one day, this person just stops answering your calls, stops calling you, stops responding, and never gives you a reason as to what happened. Right? And we sit there and we go through these emotions of, okay, I love that person. If you didn't love them, you had a very strong like for them. In other words, you do like and love people in different ways on different levels. Because I feel like whenever you're concerned about something, love is not always romantic, right? Love is, it is what humans do, right? We
Yeah,
love people
it's
on
a common
different
love.
levels. Yeah,
It's a common love that you have. It's just like you see
exactly.
somebody in the street bleeding, you're gonna
Right,
try to go help.
right.
You know, that's a love
Because
for
if you
human.
don't love people and you don't have love, you would just walk by that person and be like, that's your problem, not mine. Right.
Exactly. Exactly.
And so it is amazing to me, though, that when we are thinking that we're in this love relationship and we sometimes will put on this unconditional, again, we have clarified. I don't know that humans have that ability to have unconditional love. I think we can definitely love beyond. Would we give our life for a child? Absolutely.
No, it's true.
Unfortunately, some people give their life for a child and didn't even know that they were going to give their life for a child. i.e. the mother
Absolutely.
who gives birth and doesn't make it through birth, but their child survives, right?
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
the mother who is in an accident, something happens and her child is saved, but her life is not. Or
Mhm.
the mother who steps in front of the moving car, the bullet, the whatever it is. That is a level of unconditional love, because I'm willing to give my life to save yours, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Now, but beyond that, sometimes unconditional love, what people think is unconditional love, turns into control,
Mhm.
right? Where your level of what you think is love is really control and manipulation of other
Mhm.
people.
Mhm.
So again, we become a conduit for other people's pleasures. OPP. We
Mhm.
and we don't even realize it until we're in this thing, and we realize that all the things that we loved before we met this person who says they love us so much,
Mhm.
all those things are gone.
Mhm.
They have wonderfully executed an exit plan that we had no idea was happening. But we don't see our family anymore. We don't see our friends anymore. We don't do the things we used to do anymore. Why? Because this person says, I love you. And if you love me, you'll stay here with me.
Mhm.
Right? What do you need those other people for? What do you, I want to go to church. What you need God for? I need God to help me get out of here from you. I need to go to church so I can hear God speak to me and be like, run, girl, run.
Yeah, run, Forrest, run. You
Right,
get up out of there.
right.
Because let me tell you, to when you isolate is to annihilate. So when people start
Absolutely.
isolating you, they're about to annihilate you. So you better go outside.
Absolutely.
And you do think, like, I never forget, I ran into a childhood, a schoolgirl, but we weren't really friends in school, but we knew each other. And by the time we was like 20, she was like a year older than me. And I just happened to be at the nail salon and run into her. And she's like, girl, my man loves me so much. He told me if I ever leave him, he would kill me. I told her, I said, honey, that's not cute.
That's not cute.
And some people think that, those things are cute. That means somebody really loves you. For someone to say something like that to you, I mean, because I mean, people, oh, you take things so literally. My ex-husband, he had a nickname for me. He's called me Literally. Like you call it whatever you want to call it, but it's
Mm-hmm.
real. So if you don't mean it, then don't say it.
Right.
Because words have power, and there are things that people say that people mean in a lot of ways. They mean it, and then when if they're telling you that, and then they're isolating you at the same time, there's your proof.
Right.
You know,
And
and
for
it's not.
us to think that someone's saying that I will kill you, that's not a joking thing.
No, there's nothing
You know,
joking about.
it's
There is
nothing
nothing.
joking about that. Now, I tell people all the time, I'll punch you in your throat. I have never punched anyone in their throat. Have I
No,
wanted to punch people in their throat? Yes. But have I ever done it? No. Right?
but I don't tell people that, but I have punched people in their throat. But I
Yes,
don't
you
tell you.
have. Actually, yes, you have. I'm, that's it. All right, y'all. I'm sorry. That's gonna be a whole nother show about how Stephanie actually did punch a guy in his throat. And I'm just we're gonna talk about that one day. Yes, we're gonna really talk about that. Yeah.
But but I'm just saying that you have to like really listen very well to the things,
Yes.
and you have to listen very well to the things that people say. And
Yes.
even those people that are sick of you, and we think that they left or they stopped talking to you the day that you no longer see them or the day that you no longer hear from them, but
Right.
they really actually left you a long time ago.
Yes.
It's because we have what we how we and but the way we see a person is because we are the children of God. So we see the good in that person.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's like even when your family members or people saying you like, look at him, he's this, we see that other side of that person.
Right.
Because people, I feel like we're all diamonds because we're all faceted people. There's so many different sides to us. It's more than
Mm-hmm.
two. It's
Mm-hmm.
even more than three. It's a
Right.
lot of different sides to us. And so that's the humanness of us, is that we see those people like that. But the problem is when we see the good in this person, but at the same time, the people are kind of doing you dirty, we're losing the love of ourselves. If you
Correct.
keep the love of yourself and still see the good of that person, the person's either rises up to how you see them,
Right.
or they will be removed.
Correct.
And not because you remove them, that's just the law of nature.
Right.
And that's the universe, that's God. They'll
Yes.
be removed out of your life. And guess what? The love that you see in a person, the right person, will be put in its place.
Right.
That's really how that works. But what happens is we lose our love for ourselves, trying to throw so much love on that person
Mm-hmm.
to get what we want. But the way we really get what we want is by loving ourselves.
Right.
The more the when and I had this quote that I came with this morning. It's like when you truly love yourself, that's when you only find real love.
Yeah, because you have to love yourself in order to know what love is
Because that's, you teach people how to love you by how you
and
treat
how to
yourself.
treat you.
You know what I
Absolutely
mean?
correct.
Exactly. So that's very important. And we, and it's easy because when, I was listening to TD Jakes this morning. He said like, oh, when you meet somebody, you can't, like he said, you're on a plane and you pay for two seats, but you only really need one because you're sitting on a person's lap, drinking out the same cup, can't stand to be away from each other, you got married. It's just like,
Yes.
it's, it was called like when you burn out,
Yeah.
the burnout is coming, but it shouldn't, I mean, not to that level, but it should be at a level that it doesn't burn out, that you
Right.
can maintain, and that it's all good. And then a person, because what it is like you have your life, I have my life, and then we come together and we create a life. And
Correct.
that's how you keep like a healthy balance, because the reality is you only want a person with you when they want to be with you. Because I see a lot of relationships, and you also, where these people are there because if I leave, I'm not gonna have a place to stay. If I
Right.
leave, she's gonna take half the money, or
Right.
whatever the case is.
I don't want
You
my
want
children to be without their father. I don't want my children to be without a mother. I don't want to
yeah,
have to raise these kids by
yeah.
myself.
I don't want to have to leave my beautiful home.
Right.
I don't want to
I
have
don't
to
want
give up
I don't want
my
people to
beautiful
talk
car.
about me. I don't want to be ashamed. I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want There are so many
So
reasons
you're held
why.
hostage in these relationships, and
Yes.
you are so miserable.
Right.
And not to, I mean, and everybody sees that you're miserable. So it's not even about everybody else. It's really about your children.
Right.
Because what are you teaching them? You're teaching them that you need to live in a lie in order
In order
to
to
say
maintain this fake
what
happiness.
society says this is the American
Hmm.
dream. This is how it's supposed to be. And
Right.
that's not true. That's not true. And it's a dangerous slope when you go down that way, because you end up, and then what happens is you create all these, I can't, like, oh, you don't want to get rid of that person. You know what you got. You don't know what you're going to get. All these crazy stuff that people say to keep you in these situations and make you feel you should stay. And it's just disgusting. You know what
Well,
I mean? It's not.
and that's exactly what I'm saying. Like we're talking about other people's pleasure, because we become someone else's pleasure. We're not being pleasured, but we become someone else's pleasure. And then for some of us, then we guilt ourselves into, well, they did so much for me, right?
Mhm,
This person did
mhm,
so much for me.
mhm.
Oh my
Yes,
God, they were
I owe
there
them.
for
I
me.
owe them.
They were there for me when I was down and out. Yeah, they came when you were down and out. And they elevated you to a level of which they could tolerate you.
Exactly.
Or
And
that they could present you as, I saved her.
yeah. Oh, look how much I helped her. Look at her now.
Look at her
Look how
now.
much they look. You're like a toy dog. When he's on the twirl twirl.
And we don't, sometimes we don't understand that. And it happens man to woman, woman to man, where you find a person at their most vulnerable or lowest point in life. And that
Mhm.
person says, you know what? you're still a great person and I don't care about that, right? Come on, me and you, we're going to work this thing out and I'm here for you. Great. I'm here for you, right? But if you're only here for me because now you've made me a project,
exactly.
and now that either you're going to keep growing this project, right? So I'm indebted to you, which means I can't leave you. I can't leave you and I can't change anything about this project because it's almost that other person feels like they've rescued you and they've rebuilt you and they've designed you. They did not.
And they try to remind you of it every single day.
Every opportunity.
To keep you. Right? That's like my you know, one of my favorite movies, An Affair to Remember. And that was really the situation in that relationship. And the guy realized because he was this, you know, very wealthy man, owned his own company. And the lady, like, she sang in a, you know, in a bar. And so he wanted to learn about, you know, learn about art, learn about this, learn about that. And we're talking about a movie made in the 1950s, and she was living with him. They were not married. And then he had to go because he was doing a big business deal. And he's like, "Oh, you don't understand. I'm gonna send you on a trip to Europe." On the trip, she meets a man who loves her for her. And then she and she left. You know what I mean, and didn't burn the bridges with the man that she was living with. But he was like, "Wow, I should have married you." And she's like, "Yes." You know what I mean? Because you did all these things and whatever. And now that she and what you felt was perfect, you still didn't marry her. But because somebody saw
why she became his pleasure. Right?
Exactly.
And this is what so unconditional love is when we believe that you are doing exactly what I want you to do. You are being the person as exactly I need you to be. Right? If I need you to pump me up and build me up and tote me around,
you're my personal cheerleader.
Right. And be rah. But don't ever expect me to rah for nothing. You know why? Because you're not doing nothing for me to rah for you for.
Exactly.
That is not love. That is manipulation and control. Right? And sometimes we find ourselves in these situations, even in jobs, where people will build you up. You are doing an awesome job. You are amazing. You are a great man. We can't do this thing without you. And then again, you walk in one day and they go, you know what? You wore that pink dress today and we don't like pink here. So because you wore that pink dress, I am sorry. Your services are no longer needed here. It's like taking out the trash. That's how people treat other people sometimes. It's like you are easily disposable because I have a whole roll of trash bags. So every time I take one off, what's that mean? I take the other one out because it don't even have to be full. It could just have a piece of paper in it, but I can take it out, tie it up, throw it away, and replace it with another one. This is why humans are not good at unconditional love.
And you know, sometimes when people are doing that to you, it doesn't even have to be that big. It's the small things. One of the things that people do to really control you is, especially like in a romantic relationship, they will never give you a compliment. Because it's a way to make you feel like, oh, if he didn't tell me or she didn't tell me that I look nice or you cooked a nice meal or the way you did the house, whatever it may be, I need to work harder at it. Because if I keep doing it, then one day they're going to compliment me about it or compliment me about something. And that's a really small tactic. And a lot of men use it more so than women, to use it to keep you somewhat in line. You know, why am I going to fill her head up and make she think she look good and she thinks she's better than me? Or, you know, she'll like somebody else they want. You know what I'm saying? So it's a way to keep you right like there. Like if you guys here, he want to keep you like right there. I'm never going to bring you up here. You know what I'm saying? So and that's a very I learned that, and it's sad. And sometimes people do that to their children too, because
Yes.
it's like they don't like, they gotta be, um, you didn't get an A? What's the problem? And it's
Yeah.
just like to make them feel like, that's not good. You got to get up here. You got to get that A plus. You really got to get up here. And it's not, it's nothing good about that, because now these people are just working for you so they
Other
could get
people's pleasures.
exactly.
And
It's
and
pleasure.
it's so interesting about that, because from all sides, as parents, of course you want your children to excel and be the very best person that they have the ability to be. But it also, we have to remind ourselves sometimes that saying to a child, right, you need to be an A student at all times. Were you an A student? And even if you were an A student, that doesn't mean that your child is going to be an A student. Your child may be a BC student, but your child may excel in something that you don't have any conceptualization of. You couldn't do it if he taught you, right? Like they have other gifts. And sometimes I think we forget that, is that we put expectations on people. And I know I'm going to get pushback from parents who say, well, we're here to nurture our children. We're here to nurture our children. We're here to
Not
guide our
bully them
children.
and not make them feel
Right.
bad about who they
And
are.
we're here to lead them and teach them right from wrong, but also remember that they are a human being with their thoughts, with
Mm-hmm.
their desires. Now, of
Mm-hmm.
course, if your child's desires are not things that are always positive, or things that are not going to fare well for them in life, of course, the expectation is that you help to steer them away from that and steer them in. But at times, we talk about, or we talk to children at 2 years old, and some people will say, I knew at 2, I knew at 3, I knew at 5. I said I want to be a doctor. Great, you became a doctor. But there are some of us who are, well, maybe I wanted to be a model at 2. Maybe at 5, I want to be a doctor. At 10, I want to be a veterinarian. At 22, I don't know what the hell I want to do. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing different things, but I'm still moving, I'm still progressing forward.
Mm-hmm.
People sometimes will shun that because I'm not doing it the way you have expected me to have done it.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if I'm not taking anything from you to do it the way I want to do it. Right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You
Yeah,
know?
but the thing with parents, which I learned even when I was, in school, but learned real like, parents like, oh, because my kid goes to this college, it becomes a whole nother, notch in your belt. Are they doing this and they doing that? Or they went to
Yes.
school here and they went to
Yes.
Harvard, they went to Yale and they went to this school. And, it's just like somebody posted on Facebook their kids' grades. I was like, oh, well, wow, wow. I was like, wow, I think one person did, another person did. Like, really? Okay, now we're all living vicariously through our children. But what was
But
the,
did you ever ask your child if that was something they wanted to have done?
yeah,
Especially
yeah.
in college, right? In college. But even if they're not in college,
I seen them posted even in high
sometimes,
school. Somebody
right.
posted.
Sometimes we forget that this is another human being with feelings, flesh, blood, emotions. And sometimes we do stuff not thinking about the
How the other person's gonna feel.
exactly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that as parents, and we all do it, as parents, we have conversations with other parents about the craziness our kids do. But I don't ever have a conversation about my child in her presence, and like call somebody up and go, you will not believe the craziness that she.
Oh,
Now, the only
no, no,
person I've
no,
had that conversation with is her father. And even then, I
no.
still have the
Respect.
conversation without her being present, or without
It's
one of them
called, it's
being
called, it's
present.
called respect. It's called
Right.
respect.
And sometimes as parents, we forget that part because
You know,
we get caught in the, I'm the parent, you're the child, and you're just gonna do it because I said it. I got that part. I get that part. But you got to remember what messages that sends.
exactly. And not to mention how it feels bad. Like you know, people, family members, you know, people, you know, that their children didn't go to college. You know what I
Right.
mean? Their children decided to do something else, and
Right.
maybe what society says they're not, you know, falling in line.
Right.
Um, what I really try to do, I try not to tend to have those conversations around, you know, people. Like I know I was a friend of a family, her daughter died. She was in a fire, the car exploded with her and some
Mm.
friends. Um, all four of the kids, I don't know if the driver died,
Mm-hmm.
but I know all four of the kids died. They were like 19, 20 years old. It was so, so sad. And my daughter and her were friendly. And because her aunt always gave like the 4th of July cookout, we all would go and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they had their pastor's anniversary. And I went to see the mom. And, you know, me and the mom, because I would see her. And one time, one of my accounts, she worked there. Even before, I remember we both were pregnant and all this kind of stuff. And so when I saw it, like, how you doing? I had probably hadn't seen her since the funeral because it all kind of like started around COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, so how's Savannah doing? You know, I was like, she's doing, what's she doing? You know, and I wanted because, you know, but she wanted to talk about that. You
Right.
know what I mean? You know, her
Right.
babies, she wanted to talk about that. But, you know, and then some other situations with people, maybe the baby is, you know, went to live with her 20-year-old or, you know, boyfriend and she's 17 and now she's having babies. I
Yes.
don't get into those conversations because some people, like, especially when it comes to family, they like to try to make people feel bad. And I think that there's nothing nice about that. You
Right.
know what I mean? On purpose. Sometimes you don't know. If you don't know and you're just kind of like talking, you know, but not always making people feel bad because everything is not for everybody.
Right.
And you know, so like, and people take different paths in this world. It doesn't mean your path is the right path. You know, you don't know. You
Right.
don't know
It's the
how everything is.
comparison factor. And the comparison factor is an ugly thing
Oh, well,
because
you were always, yeah,
you're
you were
boasting
ruining
about your children, but you've not done that work. Why you
exactly.
boasting about your children's accomplishments? You didn't do that work.
They did it. They did it
They did
exactly.
it.
So you know
And
what
you
I
got
mean?
to remember that.
What do they say about comparison? It kills all your joy. To compare yourself to anything and to anyone, that kills all your joy.
Right.
It's death. That's what it says. Comparison is like death
Yeah.
because you
Your
look over
only
here
your only person you should compare to and your only competition is the person who you look back at each morning
in the
when
mirror.
you look in your
Yep.
mirror.
Yep. Man in the
That's
mirror.
it. And the person you lay down with, and that's you. The person you go to
Exactly.
sleep with and the person you wake up with
You
is you. You can't
know.
get
Yep.
away from you, right? You can't run away from you. You can't put you over here in one space and you are always with you. And so whatever
But
it
that's what
is, right?
people, because competitiveness, they have made it such a big thing in this world.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta compete, you gotta compete, you gotta compete. It's like in the things they want you to compete in, just some of the things just really don't make sense. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Because like back in the day, that thing that happened with that Nancy Kerrigan, and I don't even remember the other girl's name,
Oh
the rape,
yes. Yes.
that
When
was
she hit her with
yes,
the yeah, when
had
she
the
tried to
boyfriend
break
do it.
her leg. Yes, yes,
The
yes, yes.
boyfriend do it. But it's
Yeah,
like that. And I mean, it happens. They have those cheerleader movies all the time on
yeah.
Lifetime or
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
It's all
Lifetime
based
is
on
a dangerous
it
has
is. That's why
always
I
been.
see the title, the death of the person, the death
Oh,
of the dog, the
definitely.
death of the
Yeah,
person, the death of the wife, how the
yeah,
cheerleaders killed all the other
yeah.
cheerleaders. Like,
They
oh my
have
God.
they had one, the what is it called? The Obsessed Realtor or something. I'm like,
Oh
Lord,
yes,
y'all make a
yeah.
movie out
For
of
real, my
anything.
daughter was kidnapped. I was like, yeah, we're not gonna see that. Okay, I'm not trying to see that image in my head. Not to mention, we know these things happen, but I
Yes,
don't need to be
but I don't
like
need you to accentuate it and be like, oh,
a whole play out of that. No, 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 no. You keep that to
yes,
yourself. Yeah, that's another thing. Though these movies and certain these things, it's certain things we don't need to see all that. We don't need to hear. You have to guard your mind and your
in your
ears
spirit,
and your
yeah, in your spirit,
eyes.
in your heart,
Yep,
yeah.
for sure.
Because
So you
when you allow someone else to make you feel like your purpose in life is to please them, and that is
or
not
your
your
purpose
purpose
in
in
life
life,
is nothing.
or you're right, that too.
Because some
Now
people like to feel like,
now let's be clear. Being a servant, right, and helping people is totally different when I'm talking about, being there for people, like helping people who may need help, whatever it is, then you're helping. And you have to be careful even there sometimes, because you
yeah,
can
I'm
become
boundaries.
somebody else's crutch, to the point where you start helping, and now the next thing you know, every time they're in a situation, you are the go-to and the only to.
Exactly. And
Right?
then you have to have
And they'll
boundaries.
use that against you,
Yeah,
you
of course
know?
they'll use that against you. I've experienced that, like with coaching. You have to be real. You have to have boundaries. You have to have
Yes,
boundaries with people. You really
yes,
do. Otherwise, they will wear you out.
right.
Truly.
Because the love of people, loving people is easy, but it is hard. It's
Mhm.
easy, but it's very hard. Because as
I mean,
people,
you
think
have to
about
feel the
it,
same
we
place.
we get on, I know there are times I get on my own nerves. There are times I get on my own nerves. So if
It's like,
I can
why
get on,
am I even thinking about that? Like, what's the purpose of that? You know what I mean? It's like I mean, but I will like I know, but even now, and it is definitely because now all the experiences that we had, but even
yes,
just from our coaching experience, we could coach ourselves, and it's
yes,
like that's not what it is. And even if we have to check in, like I check, like, what you like? Am I just how I'm feeling? But I'm not
right,
like, oh, you think you know? It's like, okay, I'm feeling something like I don't want to feel like this, and we can check
right,
in, and it's good because so you could really move through it very quickly and
correct,
line yourself back up. Like,
correct,
okay, now we got it together,
right,
and that's what makes sense, and that's okay. You know what I
right,
mean? So it really, once you're able to get to that point, it's not as hard. You know what I mean? But when you're not there and you're not even trying to get there, because some people don't even have an idea about how to get there, how to align themselves up, that they're not being, driven down by all these horrible things that are happening to them by
right,
people. Because by other
right,
people's emotions that affect you, you can allow other people's emotions to change your whole world, and a lot of people do. You see people all the time, public people, not public people, that some
yes,
people do something and they just never recover.
absolutely.
People do die, from broken hearts.
Oh,
It's a
absolutely,
real thing. And
absolutely,
it's a real thing. And you feel for those people that just don't have, they just don't know how to bounce back. They think like, their husband left them or their wife left them and they feel their world is over. They just don't know how to bounce back. Or God forbid they had to bury one of their children. You
yes.
know, they some people just don't have a clue. And this could be really devastating to them. And then
And
some
many
people,
times we put ourselves in situations because we are bound down and we are so broken, and
oh
we
yeah, the
that
pain.
we think we
Yes,
deserve this foolishness that's going on, right?
exactly. We
Because
don't we don't
again,
we don't think we deserve the best, and guess what we do?
right, and we do, right? Even just remember, after the storm, after the rain, after the flood, whatever it is, the sun is going to come out. The sun does
Mhm.
come back, right? Joy does come in the morning, and morning
Yeah,
doesn't
yes, it
mean morning. Joy comes back. It does
does.
come back, right?
Mhm.
And always realize that there's a lesson and a blessing in everything that happens, even in the things that we can't even conceptualize, like it's so bad, right? It
Mhm.
hurts so bad.
Mhm.
But there
Mhm.
is always a blessing and there's lesson to learn. But sometimes, right, we go down that rabbit hole, and then in that rabbit hole, there's either a person at the bottom or the
Mhm.
middle or the top of that rabbit hole, that every time we think I can climb my way out, they go, no, 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 no. Come
You
back.
just
You
slide you back
belong,
there.
you belong down here, right? You belong down here with me in this rabbit hole,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
and and,
yeah.
it, and it's and
Then,
it's interesting that we find ourselves in situations, we
but
all
usually when that's happening to you, it's always the closest people to you that's doing that.
absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely, the person
Yeah,
who, like, I don't know about any of y'all.
it could be parents.
I have prayed for people in my life, like I've prayed for the mate. I'm like, I prayed for this person, right? And then a person comes and I'm like, God, you are awesome. You you sent, that's just what I prayed for. Only to find out or to realize.
Only find out that the devil was listening to.
Only to find out that, hey, the devil wore Prada. Well, this devil wore red bottoms and any other type of shoe they walked in on, right?
Maybe they wear some Stacey Adams.
What? I'm just saying, the devil can come in wingtips too, right? So you got to be careful, because always remember, deception always presents itself as a wonderfully packaged present.
Perfecto.
Right? And that's why when you meet someone sometime, like I remember there was one of my friends met this guy, and she knows, this is not she's one of my sisters. She knows what I like. She knows what what I'm attracted to. She meets this guy and she says, she calls me one night. She goes, I found your husband. That's what she said. I found your husband.
Okay.
I said, okay. And I'm looking at the phone going, what are you talking about? So she puts this person on the phone. So this person and I have a brief conversation, and we chat, and then we catch up with one another later on. So fast forward, this whole thing probably became maybe 2 months, 3-month type thing. So this person and I are talking on a regular basis. Now, this person was handsome. He was handsome, dark chocolate, gray beard, and he was the most dapper dresser I had ever engaged.
You two walked out the house, king and queen, because the way you dress, the way he dressed.
Girl, I could see myself standing next to him, like, he gonna make me look good, I'm gonna make him look good. We have a major thing in common, right? Entrepreneur, he is all the things that this one desires. But I keep saying something. It just, you're like too perfect, right? And it's funny how when you sit in your situations and don't make hasty decisions, what happens? Things will be revealed to you. So like I said, we had gone out on a date, like a dress up date, picked me up, took me out, opened my door, pulls out my seat, go to a nice restaurant. It was amazing. We had done lunch many times together, but we had never been intimate with one another. We never kissed each other. We only hugged each other. So just building a relationship, which is what most of us are looking for, right? To meet a man who is not like trying to get you out your clothes or rush you off to bed. Or sometimes we're trying to get them out their clothes and rush them off to the bed, right? Because I'm not going to just blame that on the brothers. But it was just, this thing was progressing. But one day we're at lunch. This person says they're reading their bio on their phone. And I said, oh, let me see your bio. And they go, why? They're like, it's long. I said, I can speed read. Let me just see your bio. And I really was just reading just to be reading. Like, what have you done?
But you also knew that you probably could learn something you didn't know.
Absolutely. So it was, inquiring minds want to know.
Exactly.
I get to the bottom of this bio. And this bio says, so-and-so is married to so-and-so for 20 years. And wait, what?
I'm like, what?
Let me, okay. So I've
heard this story before, but okay.
I give this person back their phone. And we finish lunch. And I go my separate way, they go their separate way. So of course, in my car, I'm going, what? No, and I'm sorry. I think I did. No, I don't think I don't know. I did not ask them anything. We went our separate ways. So later on, when we spoke, I said, I have a question for you. And they said, what? I said, I said, your bio says that you're married. And they said, yeah. What? Yeah, like, as a matter of fact, wait a minute, brother. Come on, come back over here with me. Come on this side, right? And I said, wait. And he says, you didn't know I was married? I said, what do you mean I didn't know you were married? How was I supposed to know you were married?
And would I be hanging out with you were married?
You didn't tell me you were married. Right. And would I be hanging out with you if I knew you were married? And
nobody else's husband.
And his explanation was, he said, well, when we first met and when we first talked, I told you that I had baggage. Brother, what?
Yeah.
Okay, so you tell me you have baggage. What does that mean to me? Baggage means, because at the time, I was, I guess, 54, 53. I would expect at this age in life, we all got baggage. We have baggage at 20 something. So I know at 50 something years old, we all have some baggage, right?
Yeah, but we are also working to unpack those bags.
Exactly.
We're not trying to get
but this brother was not referring to, he wasn't talking about, he wasn't talking about his issues or his demons that he deals with him. He was referring to his wife as being baggage. Ooh. And I said, brother, I've been on this planet for a long time. I have never heard a man refer to his wife as baggage. And if he had, I would have no conversation for you, right? Nah. And so he says, well, I thought you knew. I said, let me just say this to you. I would not. I said, what I was even more annoyed at was that, first of all, you were not honest, you were not forthcoming, you were not truthful. But the level of nonchalantness of, like, what's wrong with that? Because that's exactly his response was, what's wrong with it? I'm grown, you grown. If two people, bro, I'm not trying to be your OPP. I'm not trying to be nor am I going to be. But this brother was so confident, which let me know, of course, this is a natural thing for him. He has done this on multiple occasions.
Exactly.
Right?
Oh, Lord.
And so that's what I mean about his wife.
Well, you think about the wife, like, because when a man is out there like that, women know. And it's like, what is all the things he's putting her through? She's allowing him to put her through. But that is just sad.
It was very sad. And
maybe they have that type of relationship too, because
I don't think so.
Have that relationship.
No, I don't think it's that type of relationship. It's the relationship that I'm not going to divorce you because I'm not willing to give you all that I know you're going to ask or that you're entitled to. Let's put it that way, that you're entitled to. Exactly. Right? And so I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing over here and lying and being deceitful, but I'm doing, but see, even when a person is that overconfident and that bold about their nonsense, what I was even more concerned about was that I was sitting in a restaurant with this person, not knowing that you were married. What if your wife had driven up on us or walked into this restaurant or someone saw us and called her up and said, your husband is... I had no idea. So this is what I'm saying about manipulation and becoming other people's pleasures. Because really, people will tell you only what they want you to know. And he clearly was really good at not sharing real information because it was all about his guilty pleasures. And so had I played into that, I would have been another, OPP for him. And I was just like, no, I was not down with that. And
I know that's right. That's
we
so
have
sad.
we have to be careful about how we engage people and how people engage us.
I agree 100% with you on that one. Absolutely.
Because this day and time, people really want to believe that anything and everything goes. Everybody has a price. Everybody has a price. And if you're lonely and I'm available, why not?
Why not? Yeah.
There's a whole lot of reasons why not.
Exactly. You can't. Why not over here?
Yeah. You can't. Why not over here? And I can't. Why not over there? I'm sorry.
You cannot. Why not over here?
I can't. Okay. I can't. I cannot do it with you.
Yeah. I can't. I can't.
And so,
because the reality is, you cannot build your happiness on other people's pain.
Oh my God.
That's what people fail to realize. And I don't know why people just you think, oh, I got him, I got her. And in the wake of us trying to get to each other, we done broke all these people's hearts and hurt all these people. And we gonna make a happy life for ourselves. No, boo. That's not how it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Because you cannot, and I say it again, build your happiness on somebody else's pain. It does not work that way. And people get I mean, sometimes it's like, really, sometimes even you as a female, this is really not working. We've been, because sometimes you're in these situations because you've just been together for so long and it makes sense. But
that time factor thing.
Exactly. But then finally, maybe they meet somebody, you meet somebody, because I see a lot of, like, they move, but you see a lot of situations where people walk away and they're okay. You know what I mean? They may miss you a little bit, but it's like, because sometimes you be in those relationships, even you living together, sometimes for some reason you become like brother and sister. And it's just not there, anymore. And it's like, we're good, bye, you know what I mean? And everybody goes on.
Right.
But then you have those other very manipulative relationships where this person is speaking out of two sides of their mouth.
Right.
They're saying, oh no, I don't want a serious relationship, but yet still you're engaging in everything that a serious relationship does.
Yes, right. As people will say, I don't want to be married, but
I'm doing everything.
You and I gonna we'll live together as a monogamous couple.
We'll live together. We'll
live together. I don't know about the monogamy.
We'll have children together. We'll do all these things that we could do together. And then God forbid you drop dead and your mother comes in and takes my house because you can't do nothing because I so in love that you put the house in your name. You know what I'm saying? So there we go. But it's just like, you have to like realize that sometimes, and some people will wake up and you go on to have lives for yourself. You go marry somebody else, they go marry somebody else, or whatever the situation is. But when people do that whole manipulative thing, I think that is horrible. Where you're just keeping somebody, it's like they're in a holding tank, waiting for you to be released to marriage with this person. Right. And I know a couple of women. There's one girl with 20 years.
We're not married like that.
But let me tell you,
I know men like that. People engaged in these relationships.
When the girl came along that they wanted,
bye. Right.
They were out.
He was not interested in marriage with you, but this person came along and did not give him the opportunity to be an option. Exactly. And that's the other thing, right? Being that person's option. Again, other people's pleasures, options, whatever. It's not, if that's not what you want, then don't allow yourself to be put in those situations. And it's hard because once you get in it, sometimes you can't see it.
Exactly. Right? Oh, what?
Sometimes you can't see it.
By the time
you're blinded. What they said, blind love, you're blinded.
You're blinded with orgasms. I'm telling you, that's why once you done had some orgasms, some Lisa, oxytocin, all that kind of stuff, honey, you can't see the forest through the trees. You feel like, oh, I'm in love, you know what I mean? And what?
You know what? I don't like you right now. I don't like you right now. I don't like
That's
you
why I
right
tell you, like, if you just stay off your back as long as you can, so you can see what the heck is going on.
You
Because
said
literally,
stay in an upright position so that you
I'm
can see
telling you,
clearly, Steph.
once some orgasms start happening,
You're
you
right.
start muttering.
You're right.
You know,
You're right.
you can't see. You know what I mean? Some people and us women, we are
Yeah.
the ones get something set inside of us.
Yeah.
So it's different. You know, we ain't taking nothing out and wiping it off and moving on to the next person. So, you know, oh no, I can handle that. I can do one night. Yeah, not really. You know, you think you can, but not far few and in between women could do that. And the women that could do that, they done been through some things that's why they could do that.
You know
But
what when you said that just made me think about the fact that, regardless of whether or not the way God created us, right? Regardless of you not getting pregnant each time you engage in a sexual situation with a man, he still plants seeds because he always deposits,
exactly.
right? Men are depositors.
Exactly.
They deposit,
And
right?
we're the receptors. Yeah.
And we're the receptors of that deposit. And so whether it's not just him depositing, by having an orgasm, but he's also depositing spirit. He's also depositing his weight, his whatever it is that he has going on with you, he deposits, right, into you. And then this is why sometimes when we say to ourselves, why can't I just let this person go?
Exactly. That's why. That's
because now it's in you. It's in you. Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, it's in you.
That's why when you see those people that you've had those situations with, you feel a little something in your stomach or something because of that. You know what I mean? It could be years later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it's real. What do they call it? The spiritual tie that you have with somebody.
Oh yeah.
You have intimacy. That's the closest intimacy any human being can have with you.
Yeah.
And you will feel something like that. But you really cannot see that person for who they truly are, when you engage in that. It's like you really can't. And it's true. Right. When the orgasms start coming, you're blind,
That's
and
true.
sometimes people are caught up for so many years that they, and you hear these stories all the time, 5-6 years, X amount of children later, then all of a sudden he left you and you don't understand why. Because you didn't build on anything.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Except pleasure.
Exactly. And,
physical pleasure.
When you capture a man with your lady part, it's not going to work like that. It's not going to really work.
Because guess what? There's a lot of us who have that part.
Yeah.
And if he is one who likes to try parts, guess what? Hey,
Well, you have to have you have to have a conversation, let them know, like, I'm more than my part.
Right. I am more than my part. Yeah. There's a whole being attached to that part. And it's actually, and when you think about it, the whole being is embodied around that part, right? Because it's not on the outside. That's all. It's in the center for a reason, right? Because it is a universe all on her own. But outside of her, there is a whole nother being, and so that's really important. I love that you said that.
Yeah, I think that we all think we control them with
you
what
can't.
do you call it with no, you control them with fellatio. That's a whole nother thing. That fellatio that these women, that's a big thing going on now. I control them, and you have to really realize that that's probably like one of the lowest things you could do with somebody that you don't know and have a real relationship with, or whether you do that or you don't do that at all, because a man will let a 5-cent prostitute do that to him and nothing else, because they think that really low of them. So these young girls and all these things, I'm not doing that, but I'm giving him fellatio. Really? And you think that makes you look good? That means he really has no respect for you. And shows you have no respect for yourself. Well, I could control him like that. And I've heard, older women say the same thing. You're really, really not. You know what I mean?
No,
Oh, he keeps coming
you're
back.
not
But
control it. Anytime you are engaging in a intimate act with a person, even if you consider it not being intimacy, it is, you are giving away part of you. They are giving away parts of them. Sometimes you don't need or want those parts.
Mhm.
Honestly. And guess what? There are some parts you cannot give back.
Yeah.
So you just got to be real mindful about being other people's pleasures, and the older we get, we pray that we get wiser. But as we said a couple of
Absolutely.
weeks ago, the heart has no sense. It does not have good
Mhm.
sense, right?
No, it doesn't.
It
Mm-mm.
does not. And that's the truth. We are loving people. We are created to love, to engage, to be engaged with another human being. And so, yeah, when it comes to the heart, it's hard, right? Love is a very complex
Mhm.
emotion, right?
Oh, it absolutely is.
It's
Yeah.
a very complex emotion. You can, in 5 minutes you could go from I love you to man I hate you to oh my god don't leave me. You do, I mean, we go
That's
through emotions when it comes to love and the person in which we are in love with or we believe we're in love with, and it makes it difficult to make the decisions that are best for us,
mhm.
because we then tend sometimes to put the other people before us.
Mhm. Mhm.
Especially women, we do that a lot, right? Because then we'll say, oh, we feel guilty about, well, he moved here for me. Okay, great. He
Mhm.
did. That's very true.
Mhm.
He did. Okay. He gave up this for me. Okay, he did, right? He changed. But on the same side of that, there are things that you did also to be with them.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that you go out of your way to intentionally hurt someone. But what I'm
Mhm.
saying is that when it is over, figure out how you get over and get out.
Because you
Don't
can't, what you
continue, don't
cannot do, you can't keep
continue
having
to let people manipulate you.
conversation with these people, or we're just friends and all this stuff.
Right.
Because every time that soul tie connection you have with each other, every time they call you, it starts all over again. You
Yes.
have to break that soul tie,
Right.
and distance and time lets you do it. When you're having a conversation with somebody that's been seeing your hoo ha, like you trying to move on. What are you trying to be friends with this person for? You know what I
Right.
mean? You could be polite, but you don't need to be friends and friends with
No.
the family, still calling the mother, still
Right.
going shopping with the sister. I'm like, how are you ever gonna heal? Well, you're never
Right.
gonna heal. You
Right.
know what I mean? No, want to know all his business, and then he want to know all your business. It gets to
No.
be a bit much,
No.
especially if you're looking for a mate. No man, no real man is gonna tolerate all that nonsense.
Right.
You know,
And no
you
and
know,
no real woman is going to tolerate that nonsense either. So,
yeah.
it's on both sides. So
Yeah, oh, it
I
is, it
just
is, it is, it
I just
is.
want us to always be mindful, on this
Mhm.
wonderful Good Friday, right? That God sacrificed for us and loved us so much that he gave his life to save
Mhm.
us,
Mhm.
knowing that we were not going to do right. And he still loved us anyway. He knew. He was like, look at them down there. Look at them. Just look at them. That's why the
Yeah,
scripture says, Lord, forgive them for they know not what they do. Thank
exactly.
God for that kind of unconditional love, that
So
sacrificial
true.
love that
So
he
true.
sacrificed so
Mhm.
that we would have life and have it more abundantly. But
Mhm.
we are not God.
Nope.
Remember that. We are not God.
Mhm.
And
Even
there
those that try to be God.
and there are some people and some relationships
Oh.
that we really need to evaluate, question, look at, and figure out, am I OPP,
Mhm.
or are we in a real relationship? Am I
Yeah.
am I the sacrificial lamb for this
Mhm.
other person? Mm. If you
Mhm.
are, you might want to not do that, because you don't have to
Mhm.
be that. You don't have to
Mhm.
be that, and you don't need to be that,
Mhm.
you know? And it's okay to realize that, you know what, this this just doesn't work for me anymore. It's okay. It's really
Mhm.
okay. Like I always
Mhm.
say, no is a complete sentence. It
Oh,
doesn't
I don't we know
require,
it.
it doesn't require explanation or punctuation.
No, it doesn't.
Just one day you wake up and go, no,
Mhm.
not gonna do it again.
Absolutely. I
So
know that very well. Very, very well. No.
so
No.
I hope you all have enjoyed something or garnered something from what we talked about today, because it's Good Friday. We just had Holy Week. We're going to celebrate with on Sunday for Easter. And I hope that you all are going to have the opportunity to be with your families and your friends. And that is whomever makes up your family and your friends, right? Because family is not always blood related.
That's right.
So hope that you all have a joyous time and celebrate, hang out, take some time, take care of yourself, find your peace, find your spot, right? Figure out if you're OPP.
That's so true.
And if you
Oh,
are, start working on it.
figure out a way to repackage that relationship.
Oh,
Okay.
what you say. Yeah. And if you don't know what that means, go back and find repackaging your relationships episode and you will figure out what we're talking about.
Exactly.
So Steph, final words for you for today.
Yes, enjoy, be happy and have fun.
Oh my
Life
God.
is life is fun. It really is.
Mhm.
We have taken it to life is hard. No, life is fun. You could make it
Yes.
fun. If you looking over here, it's hard. You look over there, it's fun. It's the way that it's from your perspective. And
Yes.
so enjoy the ride because the ride is
Yes.
beautiful. You know,
Absolutely.
it is what and people that making it ugly for you, you gotta get rid of them.
Right.
Gotta
Yeah.
say I'm out and keep it moving.
Yes.
But
Think
God
about
bless
it.
you.
But
Beautiful Easter weekend.
yes, absolutely. I love what you said about the ride. Think about like you're in the car, right? And then you roll the windows down and you're driving down the ocean, the ocean or something. You let your
And so
hand
the
out the
salt.
window and the wind's blowing on your face. Yeah, that part.
And I say this, whenever I'm driving, no matter where I'm driving, I always try to drive the most pleasurable, most beautiful way to get to
Yes.
where I'm going.
Yeah. The
So
scenic
it's the
route.
same concept. Exactly. You can
Yes.
always, find the best route that's more pleasurable than just seeing, because we could create those things for ourselves,
Yes.
and it's
Yes.
not, I always try to look at the bright side, whatever it may be.
Yes. Amen. Well, thank you all so much. We also just want to encourage you all to please know that we are on YouTube as well. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel, share our YouTube channel, also share our Autopsy of Her, our Apple channel. We really love to be able to have people tuning in and listening in, but please share, especially, and you can leave your comments as well. We will love to hear your comments.
Exactly.
At first we were like, yeah, we don't have, we would really love to hear your comments. And like I said, and if
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
a
yeah,
topic,
yeah.
if there's a topic or something that you really want us to talk about, or again, if you want to be a guest on our show, we'd love to have you. We love to have guests.
Oh, yes, we do.
We
Yes, we
love
do.
to have guests. Steph and I
Yeah.
are big entertainers. We love to entertain. So
So, yeah, we,
we'll
we
we'll
do.
even have cocktails with you via Zoom. So we'd love to have guests.
Exactly. And let me tell you, we'll let you know that Iris and I both life coaches.
Yes,
So you can find me on mymentor.life. I'm a divorce coach and a style coach.
right.
And Iris,
And I'm a relational coach, and I like to say also a style coach. People keep trying to get me to like take pictures and do a whole, take pictures of my clothes every day. And I was like, that's just not me. I don't want to do that. But I am a stylist. I can get you to wear some stuff.
yes, you can. That's
I
for
could
sure.
change. I could change your world with some outfits. And so you can find me, of course, on the Autopsy of Her, but you can also find me at I do love coaching at gmail.com, and also on Instagram as well, as I do love coaching as well. So we thank you all so much. Hope you all will have a blessed and pleasant Easter with your family and friends, or if you just decide to stay at home and eat in bed. Have a
Yeah,
great
Netflix and chill. That's nothing wrong with that.
hey, right? Do what you want to do.
Exactly.
All
We have
right. We love you
options.
guys. Have a good one. Bye,
Have
honey
a good
bunny.
one.
I love you.
Bye, honey bunny. I love you too. Have enjoy
All
your
right.
Easter.
You too. Thank you.